Welcome everyone to the long-awaited Best of the Best Meltdown Live Tournament recap. This is where we pick a video game category and pit my top picks against each other live. Season 1 had quite a few showdowns, including the Best Boss, Fromsoft vs. the World, Worst Boss, Best Battle OST, and the Best Video Game Moment. Here is our season recap of each event. Remember folks, tune in live and help influence the result. Let's get right into it. Number 1, Best Boss, Fromsoft vs. the World. The season kicked off with one of the most heated competitions imaginable. We were going 8v8, Fromsoft's best 8 bosses versus the best 8 from all other games. This night, we would determine if Fromsoft was in fact the king of bosses, or if all that edging and get good remarks were just for show. Our matchups, like always, were determined at random. Godfrey, the first Goon Lord, versus the big dick himself, Raven Beak. Bale, the dreaded only good Fromsoft dragon, versus Eviterno, the father of people who are sad. Mesmer, the MC of Impaling, versus the opera songer. Slav Knight Gale versus Press X for Respect the Boss. On the other side, we have Hela killed his wife Father Gaskiogni versus the Cybertruck Demon. Spank Scourge Radon versus Cleopatra Weird Nipple and Mark Anthony the Mouth Dweller. Shakeweight King Ludwig versus Kefka should have destroyed the world already. And finally, Genichiro versus Leviathan. What a lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started with our first matchup. Godfrey versus Raven Beak. This was going to be a dogfight, ladies and gentlemen, with the perfect intuitive flow of Godfrey versus the unforgiving pressure of Raven Beak. Yeah, this one wasn't too hard, and I had to go with Godfrey. Bale the Dread versus Eviterno. Now, what a start to a taint-grinding tournament. Bale has a way of creating the closest victories imaginable. Both times I defeated him, I succeeded by the skin of my Cheeto-dusted teeth. I think that is because you don't really have to master the fight to succeed. Once you reach a certain point of competence, you win, but barely. Such a good experience. Eviterno requires mastery, but once you master his moveset and learn his rhythm, it feels like a Sekiro fight in 2D form. The win goes to Bale as much as I love the Blasphemous series. Mesmer the Impaler versus the Opera Singer. Mesmer is the closest thing to a perfectly balanced fight I have seen since Dark Souls 3. So, he handily took Opera Singer for all her great variety of attack and spectacle. Opera Singer is just a bit too easy, largely because healing is nearly infinite in Nier. Slave Knight Gale versus the Boss. This one was a heartbreaker. Gale has the most finely tuned difficulty of any fight and creates one of the best, as I call it, slugfests in any game. The boss has such variety of ways to approach the fight, and carries immense emotional and story weight. It all comes down to this, but the mechanical perfection of Gale has to take it. Father Gascon versus Cyber Demon. Moving on to the other side, we have 2 remarkable intro bosses for their respective games, both with surprising second phase transitions, but the intuitive rabid flow of Cyber Demon has to take it. Cyber Demon it is. Starscourge Radon versus Cleopatra and Mark Anthony. Star-crossed lovers join together for a starstruck battle. Unfortunately for Dante's Inferno and the whole second circle, the love between Starscourge and his scrawny horse takes the bracket with ease. Ludwig versus Kefka. We had a Kefka fan in the audience, but the grueling fight up the tower using every character you have at your disposal was not enough to defeat the completely bipolar gameplay that is Ludwig. The music, the pulse-pounding combat. Ludwig quickly showed himself a force to be reckoned with. Genichiro versus Leviathan. People were shocked, appalled to see I did not have Ishin the Sword Saint on the list. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he is a great fight, but days worth of training and dying is required to learn him well enough to win. That just isn't an S-tiered boss design for me. Genichiro is the peak Sekiro experience for me, with its back and forward rhythm and deadly shakeups. Leviathan is, however, an exhilarating experience with some insanely creative ideas baked in. You fight in a tunnel against a mass of tentacles, zero-G jumping around the cylinder area, using stasis to freeze dangerous sections, and throwing its explosive pustules back at it. Loads of fun, folks. Leviathan stands out more to me as the better boss. Here we go, folks, into the quarterfinals. Godfrey versus Bale the Dread. Now Fromsoft is taking on Fromsoft due to a complete shutout on the left side of the brackets. We have the amazing pacing and tuning of Godfrey against the excitement, spectacular, skin-of-your-teeth experience of Bale. Godfrey may just be my favorite boss of base game Elden Ring, but Bale has to take it from me. Every single time I beat Bale, it's an amazing experience that doesn't take all day to learn. Mesmer the Impaler versus Slave Knight Gale. These two bosses are the most comparable in the whole roster. Fast, weirdly intuitive, and marvelous to behold. Gale is going to take this one though, folks, as what he brings is perfect tuning. Gale is fast and aggressive, but with lower damage and a higher health pool, making the 3-phase fight go on for a perfect duration, and you can take many hits and keep on learning that way. Gale is going to be tough to beat, folks, and moves on. On the other side, we have Cyberdemon versus Star Scourge Radon. The non-Fromsoft side responds with one of their strongest out of the gates. Cyberdemon is the epitome of what makes a great shooter boss. Lots of health, one-on-one without the swarms that accompany every Doom Eternal boss, and lots of different moves that keep you dodging and weaving while focusing your fire and managing resources. Radon locks you in with great music, and a difficult but rewarding rhythm to learn. Both bosses have incredible second phases, but I'm going to give this to Cyberdemon. Ludwig versus Leviathan. Monstrosity versus monstrosity. Who does it best? As much as I love Leviathan and Dead Space as a whole, I can't see Leviathan trumping Ludwig. His riz too strong, his drip immaculate. With the music, the polar opposite phases, and remarkable design, Ludwig has to move on. Semifinals, people, here we go. Bale versus Gale. My two favorite Fromsoft bosses locked in tender loving combat, and a dragon nonetheless. As an avid hater of Fromsoft dragons, I can't believe I consistently enjoy Bale as much as I do. Bale beats Gale in spectacle, but Gale absolutely wins in fine-tuned gameplay and intuitive design. Gale finds himself like the end of Dark Souls 3 in the finals. Cyberdemon versus Ludwig. Here it is, folks, the non-Fromsoft team's final holdout versus Bloodborne's best. This one is a bloodbath, both competitors not willing to give up. But ladies and gentlemen, I am giving this to Cyberdemon. Ludwig is spectacular and a joy to lock in with, but Cyberdemon is a fast-paced thrill ride that requires complete attention. This one was really close, but Cyberdemon rolls on. The finals. The crowd at this point, edging and enraged by the official decision. It all came to this. Slave Knight Gale versus the Cyberdemon. Now, though only one could stand victorious, both of these bosses are phenomenal. Fromsoft proves itself the king of bosses, however, as Gale defeats all opposition, including Doom's best. Gale is just the perfect package of spectacle, difficulty, mechanics, pace, and intuitive design. Gale is so perfect, I'm not even sure Fromsoft is capable of topping it with the direction they are going with faster, less forgiving gameplay. Cyberdemon's friends and family should be proud, though, as he held the non-Fromsoft mantle almost single-handedly.
And that's a wrap, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned next time for the recap of the Worst Boss Tournament. Until next time, folks.